Good evening, everybody. It's John for Father's Rights and my anti-human trafficking page. Today, yesterday, I got a call from the Queens DA office, and they want to know what's going on. Uh, I had some police officers come to my house and watch a video I made, the previous video, and they said this warrants investigation. And sure enough, on Tuesday at 4 p.m., the DA's office did call me up, the Special Victims Unit. Now, I'm going to make this video public so everybody could see what I gave the Queens DA to work with. When my daughter was no longer in the household with me prior, I sought to God to get missing her around May 23rd. Right? You miss your kids. So what I did is I went to other people's, her relatives' Facebook pages to see if they had pictures of her. Sure enough, there was one there. And I found this picture there. And I found this picture there. Right? The problem I had with this picture is that I know this girl. And at the time this picture was taken in April 2015. April 28th to be exact. Now, what's wrong with this picture, you might ask? Well, first thing I noticed is this girl is 8 months pregnant. Okay? But and she's in a wedding dress. This girl is 8 months pregnant and she's being wed. And she's 15 years old. That's right. This girl in New York State is getting married at 8 months pregnant at 15 to get this. The 31-year-old that raped her when she was around 14. The other person you see in the picture is my wife's cousin. Her name is Fanny Cuento Guzman. Fanny, for some odd reason, decided, well, I'm not going to call this in. I'm not going to call the police, even though the guy statutory raped my niece, who I'm in charge of. I'm not gonna call the police. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna marry her off to the guy. She child trafficked him, and it's even worse than that. Now, I had a hard time finding this because this girl's name is different now than it was when I knew her, when she was still up until 2014, we had no contact and the reason for that is because they didn't want me to see that she was pregnant, because I would have done something about it. Especially since the guy was 31 years old and this girl was 14. My relationship with her and 3 other kids is because Fanny's sister, Carmen, had 4 children. And she doesn't know who the father is of any one of the children. They could be all different fathers or all the same father. This woman was institutionalized after she had these 4 kids. That's right, they put her in an insane asylum. And the way I found out this girl's real name, well, new name, so to say, is just by doing this. I recognized her. Now, this girl over there and this girl over here, when I knew them, they both had the same name, Adriana Cuento Guzman. And yet, I don't remember ever seeing Carmen pregnant with these multiple births. No baby shower, nothing. Where did these kids come from? Now, this girl here transitioned into a boy, and her name is Riley Mercedes. This girl, as I know her name was Adriana Cueto Guzman, is now Christina Rodriguez. Odd, right? Now, what I found out is Fanny likes to throw parties. Okay? If you go to this video, CPS, look here, minors shouldn't be at hotel parties with adults. Fanny likes to have parties where minor girls party with adult males. And that's how I believe this young girl met her rapist, the pedophile that raped her. And Fanny covered it up because, well, Fanny was having these hotel parties up in a little Dominican Republic, part of the Bronx, at a hotel radio. And she couldn't let anybody know that it happened because she was throwing these little parties and inviting these pedophiles up to meet young girls. I don't know how much she got, but that's the way they do it up there. They make basically turn a suite in the hotel into an impromptu club. And this club was used for adult men to meet minor children. Well, after the girl got married, she basically, after I seen this picture, I started doing my research. Again, I came across this disturbing photo of one of the boys in Fanny's charge. Also a child of her sister Carmen. Father's whereabouts unknown. Anybody notice something odd about this young boy? I do. Okay, let's continue. Now, when this girl got married, I couldn't find hide of hair of her when I found these pictures May 23rd last year. Right? I couldn't figure it out. I can't prove it. I don't have any pictures of her assailant. Everybody's denying it. Well, I got to snooping around a little bit, and I was able to find the girl's Christina Rodriguez Facebook page. Here she is at 19, and this is the guy that raped her when she was 14. They now have 2 kids. Now, I couldn't figure out why the hell did he move out of New York and move to Connecticut. And one of my friends, who's pretty smart, pointed this out. Because that means when she got married at 15, she wasn't legal to consent in New York or Connecticut. But homie was willing to wait, if he did, because she did have another kid, as you could see, around 18 years old. But what is the New York age of consent? 17 years old. Why would a pedophile move to Connecticut? The age of consent is 16 years old. Not only was she raped by an adult, which is a charge of statutory rape, she was also a child bride, which is child trafficking. And not only was she a child of, involved or forced into first forced sexual servitude to a much older male who statutory raped her, he actually moved her across state lines so he could have sex with her and not get in trouble. That's why you move from New York State to Connecticut. But wait, there's more. I only have his name is Mr. Rodriguez, and they did move to Milford, Connecticut when she was 15 after she was married, so he could continue raping her. It's not rocket science we're talking here, We're not talking about, the Marquis de Sade or Giacomo de Casanova here. We're talking about a child rapist. And that's it. April 22nd, 2019, 19 years old. Age of him, 35. How long were they married? Since she was 15. How do you prove that? She's got a 4-year-old daughter right there. If this guy's a pedophile and he was willing to satisfy his sick impulses by moving out of the state, what do you think is going to happen to these two children? It doesn't paint a pretty picture. This guy should be in jail. This witch here should be in jail for trafficking children across state lines for the intended purpose of them being sexually abused. She knew she was raped, but yet still gave the girl away to the pedophile rapist. And my wife, Clarissa Ellen Russo, knew about this and is still actively threatening me if I don't stop talking about this. Still actively threatening me with my daughter, using my daughter as a pawn piece to get me to shut up about this. And I'm sorry I can't, because if I do, my daughter will be targeted, and these two kids will be targeted. Now remember, this little girl here is only 4 years old in 2019. Figure out her age now. Talking 5 years now. She's 9 years old. And he likes young girls. So if nobody wants to, if the DA doesn't do anything, people, shame on them. But everybody knows now that's the whole saga. All right? They're guilty as hell. They trafficked a child. We got the people who trafficked the child, the people who knew about it, people who were aiding and abetting it, trying to cover it up by making threats to me. Having parties. If you look at this video right here, I'll put it in the links. You will see only young girls at this party. This is before the guest came, before people like him showed up. Maybe they pay $200 at the door to get in so they can booze up young girls and rape them. What else do you need to know? What else do we need to know? I've done everything for everybody. You just wouldn't believe me. I went out there and did all the work myself. There's also another apartment on Malcolm X Boulevard that Fanny has listed as her being a resident. And that used to be my mother-in-law's apartment. What are they using that apartment for? And again, a pedophile, in order to give into that lust, that impulse. Well, I can't do it in New York. She's only 15 years old. I can't do it in New York. So what do? I'll move to Connecticut. Then I don't have to wait too long to begin the rape process all over again. Oh, and by the way, she had this baby when the year prior in 2018. Which means, again, skating the limits again before he moved to Milford, Connecticut, to use their laws to hide his dirty deeds. So again, these kids, this boy right here is at risk. My daughter's at risk because my wife insists on having her cousin Fanny, this woman here who done this, babysit my daughter. And I asked my daughter, does Fanny come over the house when you go over there? She goes, yeah. Does she bring anybody? She goes, no. Well, what does she do? Did she bring you somewhere? Yes. Where does she bring you? I can't tell you. Red flag. What else do we need to see, people? Are we going to let them keep doing this? Or we're going to stop it? Are we going to come and talk to me? Are you going to research it and pull this girl's birth certificate at the time? And you can calculate her age if you don't believe me. All you have to do is find her birth certificate. And I assure you, she was born in the year 2000, which makes her 15 in this picture. And if you're 8 months pregnant in April, you count back. That puts her in the previous year, where she was 14. So somewhere between the ages of 13 and 14, this creep got a hold of her. And he's still got a hold of her. But now he's got her children too. And on that, I'm out of here.